Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and will be one of the English trainers for this hour. The topic we are going to go over today is on contracts. So we will talk about vocabulary words related to contracts, which can be an interesting topic because every country and culture is a little bit different in this area, and so we will be able to talk about the correct words in English, talk about the English speaking culture, and then of course talk about your own. Um, and some are, very similar, some are different. So it'll be a fun topic to work with you all on. Um, so again, the topic is on contracts, and I'm getting you the material right now. Bear with me. And not the material, the link for the material. Okay, and so the link for the material will be on the Verbling chat. So I'll get that right now. And here is the link. All right. So again, the topic is on contracts. Let me show you the topic. So we will start the class out by going over contract vocabulary. Then we will talk about the types of contract, because there's a lot of different types of contracts. And then we will go on to collocations with contracts, so phrases where the word contract is used and how it's different. We will complete the sentences with those collocations. And then we will talk about the written versus spoken contractual language, words that we would probably never use when we speak. And then after that, we will have a talking point, and we will discuss questions about this. And during this entire class, though, I will have you speaking about this topic and how it relates to your life. So that is the plan for today. I hope to see you all there. Okay, so all right. So welcome. Welcome to the English class. So anyway, look forward to talking to you all about this. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to working with you all on contractual language. And this is now, I am not an attorney. I have taught attorneys before, but this is really for people who are not attorneys. So people who are not attorneys. Hello, how are you today? How are you doing, Omar?
Hi, teacher. I'm doing great. What about you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I've been sick the last couple of days, and so this is my first day back, first class back actually. So, but we'll see. Yeah. But remind me where you are from, Omar. Omar. Hello? Omar? Hello? 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 Okay, he left. Hello, are you there?
Okay, much better.
Okay. But yeah, because I was like going, hello, hello? Is
Yeah.
anybody there? So yeah. So remind me where you were from, Omar.
Yeah, I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, that's right. I remember you now. I remember the Chihuahua. Yeah, and that's a fairly small town, correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah. So, but small, of course, is relative, just like weather is relative.
Yes.
What? How small is Chihuahua?
Uh, Actually, it's not small. It's medium,
Okay.
but yeah, the territory is very big.
Mhm.
Is the most bigger in Mexico, but it's not related with the other states. Is not very polluted.
Mhm. Okay. So it's not as polluted, even though there's a lot of population.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
about you? Where are you
Excuse
from?
me. Well, I'm from a small town in Idaho. Idaho is actually a small state compared to the rest of the states. We've got a large land, a lot of land, but very few people. And Idaho has 3 million people in it, and in my town, there's a population of 850 people.
Oh, okay.
So it's very tiny. so,
Yeah.
so, hi, Julio. How are you?
Hello, Holly. Good evening.
Good evening. So how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Doing okay. I've been sick the last couple of days, and so this is my first class back. So,
Oh, I
so
hope you get well.
me too. Me too. It's been kind of a weird thing. So, and then
Did
next
you come
person.
down with the flu?
I don't really know. Are you guys familiar with vertigo?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's a problem with the ear.
yeah, it's and it's basically dizziness. Like I would shut my eyes and the room would spin. So I was like, and my neck is still. I'm still in some pain, but I decided, okay, I need to go back to work. So,
I used to suffer from that when I was like 20 something. I used
uh-huh.
to come and go, and we didn't find any explanation for it.
Yeah, and that's my situation as well. This is my only the second time I've had it though, so I'm lucky though. The last time was 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. So Fernanda,
Hello, Holly.
hello. How are you doing? That's a beautiful picture there.
Oh, thank you. Good.
Yeah, where is that from? Is that something you got off the internet?
I didn't understand. Can you repeat me?
The picture that you have, your profile picture. Did you get this off the internet, or did you draw it, or what is this from?
I got on internet.
Okay, it's great. So where are you from, Fernanda?
I'm from Colombia, Holly.
Colombia. Okay. All right. Excellent. And Abimelech. Hi, Abimelech. Okay, you were only listening today. Okay. Um, was just wondering about you last weekend because I hadn't seen you in a while. So welcome. All right. So you're only listening, and then the rest of you, I hope you have a chance to speak as much as possible. So the topic today is on contracts, and that's kind of a scary topic because it's a legal language, but this is actually a vocabulary and that we need as consumers in society, and as we learn more about, when we all sign contracts, we either sign lease agreements or we sign job contracts or whatever, and many of us use contracts in our work as well. So I am not a lawyer. I have taught lawyers though, so I will know as much about the topic as you guys do. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm hoping the other people who signed up for the class will be coming as time as their calendar permits. And so, all right. And okay. So we've got this contract vocabulary. We've got appendix, binding, fulfill, parties, sue, and terms. Does everybody know these words? If you do not, please ask me.
No problem with the words.
No problems? Okay. Omar, do you know them?
Fulfill? I don't know what is that.
Fulfill, if you fulfill something, it's if you have an agreement and you fulfill that agreement, you actually do what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay. Fernanda, do you know all of these words?
No, no, really. Actually, no.
Okay. Which ones do you not know? And I can help you.
Okay. For example, with appendix.
Okay. Appendix is usually when you have a contract, or even if you have a research paper. This is the extra material at the end, and it's you have the main part, and then the appendix is the extra part. Okay, so it's usually at the end, and if you write a thesis at university, you might actually have an appendix as well. And then binding is, if something is binding, it is cannot be canceled. And parties, for example, a wedding party are the people involved in the wedding. So parties are groups of people.
Okay.
And okay, to sue, besides it being a name, it's a name in English, but to sue, a verb, is when you go to court and try to get money from a company or a person because you think that they have done you wrong. And terms would be the
items.
The items are the bullet points in the contract.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go through this. Let's start. Omar, could you read read the first paragraph, and everybody, if he does not know a word, to fill it in. If you guys could help him. Okay. And I think it's fairly straightforward.
That's okay.
So, okay. All right. So go ahead and start.
Okay. Contract is a legal agreement between two or more parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
Every contract contains different terms, which state what each side must do if the contract is in a written form and somebody sign it, then usually that person must meet or fulfill
Yep.
all the conditions, even if he or she has not read the full agreement. We can also say that the conditions are now sui
They're now binding.
binding.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Julio, could you read the next one?
If someone does not fulfill certain conditions, for example, if a person refuses to pay after receiving a service, the other party may decide to sue in a court of law.
Okay, excellent. And Fernanda, could you read the next one?
Sometimes the parties may want to include some extra conditions in a contract after it has been signed. They can do they can do this by adding an appendix.
Yep. Appendix. Excellent. All right. So, question for you, Omar. Have you ever been sued, or have you ever sued anyone?
No, at this moment, no.
No, have not been involved in that. Julio, have you ever sued, or have you been sued by somebody?
No, never, teacher. I don't like to. Well, if I sign a contract, I like to stick to it.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. Fernanda, how about you? Have you ever been sued, or has anybody ever sued you?
No, never. I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I was invited to be part of a lawsuit last spring, and I, like Julio said, when I agree to something, I stick to it, and that's why I did not join the lawsuit, because it was against my employer, and they were being sued for overtime. And in my contract, it didn't state that they would pay overtime, so I decided not to be part of that suit. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, because it will take a long time for people to get money. But anyway, I think there's really no other ways to talk about the rest of these, so let's go on. We have types of contracts. We have a lease, an employment contract, a contract of sale, an insurance policy, a software license, and a credit agreement. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can match these. Omar, could you read the first line here that I've marked?
Yeah, of course. A contract between a seller or vendor and a buyer or purchaser.
Okay. And what kind of contract would this be?
A contract of sale.
A contract of sale. Yes. Yes, it is a contract of sale. Perfect. Okay. Julio, could you read the next one?
A contract between an employer and employee. An employment contract, number 2.
Perfect. Okay. And Fernanda, could you read the next one? Right here, right under, right here.
An insurance policy.
Yeah, could you read it out loud to practice the pronunciation?
An insurance policy.
No, right. This right here. This part right there.
Okay, a contract between an insurance company and a person who pays for the insurance.
Yes.
Is the number 4?
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And Omar, could you read the next one?
A contract which allows one party, the tenant, to use the land or property of the other party, the landlord, for a specific period of time.
Okay.
A lease.
Yes. Elise. Okay, excellent. And Julio, can you read the next one?
A contract which allows someone to use a computer program. A software license, number
Okay,
5.
excellent. And Fernando, can you read the last one, even though we know what the answer is?
A legal contract in which a bank agrees to loan a customer a certain amount of money for a specific amount of time is the number 6 up.
Yeah, is a credit agreement. Okay. All right. So, question for you, Julio. When it comes to software licenses, do you actually, when you go into a new company or sign up for new software, do you actually read the agreement?
Well, I don't know if it's the same type of contract, but for example, when I sign up on a website that uses a specific type of software, or I
Uh-huh.
download an app,
Uh-huh.
usually they have a big disclaimer with a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of regulations,
Yep.
and I never read them. I just scroll down to the bottom and I just click yes, I accept, even though I might be selling my soul to the devil.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it does. How about Omar? Do you actually read those kind of contracts? Because that's exactly what a software contract is.
Uh,
A software license.
no, actually, I am an IT engineer and I
Uh-huh.
never read that contract
Those
or that
contracts.
agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys, Fernanda? Do you read the software licenses?
Yes,
You do.
yes. For example, in the company that I work, um, um, there are different kinds of softwares.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for drawings, for design, yeah, and terms
Mm-hmm.
for the use of a software license, and in that company give a time for you can read that, and really it's so dangerous. For example, try to install
Mm-hmm.
some software different of the permit of the.
So it's dangerous to assign the contracts, assign the software without actually reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think that most people are? Do you think most people? I mean, most people I talk to do not even bother reading those.
Yes, I think, for example, I don't know, for example, in people that I know, yeah, yes, yes, and I think it is really so important, and
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know, but yes, when you signet some,
Uh-huh.
yeah, when you what?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
sign some contract, you have to read everything. So I think it's a it's a what a binding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a binding contract. So
Yes.
even though we have not read it, we are still stuck to the things that are binding to it. Julio said that he probably sells himself to the devil when he doesn't sign it, which is how I feel as well when I don't sign it. Question for you guys: on when you guys get an email, for example, from companies like Facebook, who said, and they say, starting January 1st, new terms and conditions. Do you guys read those terms and conditions?
No.
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 These terms, no.
Okay.
It is really so extensive.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Julio, do you read them?
No, I never do, but I always expect the worst from those contracts. I know if I read it, I'm gonna find like they own all my intellectual property and everything that I say it's their property, and they can take pictures of me or they can take my pictures and do whatever they want with them. So I pretty much expect the worst. So I try to be I try not to blow the information that I don't agree on sharing it, and pretty much I try to keep my personal information very private, which is I always use a nickname and fake names, and I never write my current address or phone numbers or anything like that.
Oh wow.
Because I know that they are gonna use it sooner or later, and if they don't use it, probably there is a term over there that they keep for themselves the right to sell it to someone else or use it for different purposes. So I try to be very cautious about that.
Okay. Yeah. And how about you, Omar?
No, actually, I never read nothing of that. It's very big, and I try to don't have my private life in that social network, for example, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I mean, I'm fairly open on social network, but not too open. Basically, anything that you'll see on Facebook is anything I'd tell in this open class anyway. So, you know, and so I'm careful, but I'm not. I guess I kind of tend to believe that I'm one of so many people that I'm not going to be. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someday my identity will get stolen, but I don't know. Frankly, I don't care if if someone steals my identity, they couldn't get any money anyway because I'm so poor. But joke. But anyway, let's talk about a lease. Is it easy in your countries to get a lease for a car?
Well, I have never gotten one.
Mm-hmm.
I got my own car, and I've heard that it's very expensive, at least in my country. It's only for like rich people or foreigners, tourists when they come to my country and they want to tour around, they usually lease a car. But I guess they require you to give your credit information and your credit card. And you have to give your an identification, and pretty much they check that you have money to pay if there is
Pay for it.
an
Yeah.
accident or anything happens.
Yeah.
And you also have to buy an insurance, and you have to pay for it. So with all those payments, I just better get
Yeah.
a train or get a taxi cab or whatever.
Yeah. No, keep in mind, a lease for a car lease is different than a car rental. So if you go to a country for a couple weeks, many people will rent a car, which is different than a lease.
Oh, yeah,
lease-
you're right.
Usually, a lease is something that you would lease for 2 or 3 years, and then you upgrade to another car, and then you keep upgrading.
Yeah, you pretty much pay for it and it's never yours. And yeah, many companies do use these kind of contracts, when they need to have a float of cars and for delivery companies or companies that give or provide IT service, they need to
Mhm.
have cars available and it's not cheap for them to buy
Mhm.
um, a fleet a fleet of cars.
Mhm.
And
So
they use these kind of contracts to get
mhm.
those vehicles.
Okay, yeah, and I think that's the way it is in the States. For individuals, it is actually quite expensive to lease a car. It's quite it's more difficult. It's easier to get a credit agreement and get borrow money to buy a car than it is to lease a car. Where for companies, it's more normal for that companies would lease a car. So, how about in Colombia? Is it the same or different, Fernanda?
Um, I think depends on, for example, if you have um, cell phone line,
Mm-hmm.
you, with for that reason, you can get a credit card,
Mm-hmm.
and no more. You must be wow. Um, how do you say mayor de edad?
I don't know.
You has
Major.
to be you has to be over 18 years old or an
Okay.
adult or
Okay.
Yes, you must be um, 18 years old for minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for getting a car, it's the same, because because you can get it with credit card, or
Mm-hmm.
bueno, okay, really, actually, credit card no, but it's a credit.
Yeah. So if you have good credit,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
In this country it's easy.
Okay.
It's really easy.
Easy. It's easy. Okay. Excellent. All right. And okay. And let's talk about employment contracts. Omar, are employment contracts in Mexico um, taken seriously, or are they just a starting point?
Well, I think that is very seriously a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, are different kind of contracts. For example, you can sign a contract that mix different terms, but yeah, it's a very seriously contract here in Mexico. And
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh,
yeah.
yeah. The reason I asked that was because when I moved to South Korea back in 1994, I learned that in Korea, and then I also learned that this is the same in Taiwan as well. That when you sign a contract with somebody in Taiwan or Korea, it is just a starting point. And if they need to change it, they will come to you and with a handshake or with a verbal agreement, you can change the contract. It will change based on the needs of the business or whatever. So,
that's crazy because how do they prove that appendix and quotation took place?
yeah,
Because
that's
there's no proof.
that's one of the reasons that the East and the West have problems. It's and especially, like, for example, I learned it through language teaching, and you go to the country and your contract states that you will teach, for example, you will teach 20 hours a week or 30 hours, no more than 30 hours a week, and then the school has the teacher teaching 40 hours a week or 45 hours a week because that's what they need. And and probably when the teacher got there and they were really eager, they agreed to whatever. So the contract changed, but the teacher wasn't aware that the contract changed. So. So I've learned, it's just through that kind of thing. Frankly, I've never run into that. I've had some good employers when I've worked, but I've learned from other people that it was difficult. But I've learned that some countries see contracts, especially employment contracts, differently. So, how about in Colombia? Is an employment contract something that is set in stone, or is something very important, or is it just a starting point?
I think one of the most important contracts in this country is an employment contract. Is usually undertaken. Yeah.
So it's very important. I wonder over in the Americas, just in all of the countries here in North and South America and Central America, it's all pretty much the same. What do you think, Julio?
Well, I can only speak for my country, but private contracts, employment contracts in my country, pretty much, they never change. It's pretty straightforward, but they have their own tricks to protect themselves. And I'm talking about the companies to protect themselves from lawsuits. One of them is very common in my country, like super common, to they make you sign a white sheet of paper. Yeah, or probably they make you sign you resign in advance.
So your resignation.
Your resignation, yeah, sorry. Resignation. Yeah. So if they want to get rid of you and they just tell you, well, it didn't work, this is like a marriage and, well, didn't work out, so that's it. And you say, hey, wait a minute, we have a contract here. And say, well, remember that you signed your resignation when you started, so pretty much you agree to whatever we decide. And it's a shame, but it's a common practice here. They also demand for women to take pregnancy tests before they start working.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and it's forbidden by the law, but they don't care. I mean, if you if you want to sue them for that, that will take you years, and it's very difficult to prove. So they use those tricks to to always have the upper hand.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. One of the things that you described is, of course, they don't have sign a resignation, but in a lot of states in the U.S., and it does depend on the state, but in the last two that I've worked with, in Oregon and in Idaho, they have what is called an at-will contract. So when you sign your employment contract, in the contract it says at will, which basically says, if we realize during the time that this contract is valid that we do not need you or that you are not working out, we have a right to let you go at any point. And so it's an at-will contract, but also the at-will contract also means that you do not have to give any notice if you decide to leave. So my last job that I had before I started teaching with Verbling, I walked in, I said to my boss, I'm leaving, here's my material. I signed a resignation letter that morning, and I walked out. I did not give any notice. When I was in Finland, because I had been with the company for more than 10 years, the Finnish labor laws require that I would give a 4-month notice, and that my employer would give a 4-month notice to get rid of me. So every country is different when it comes to employment. So it's all very interesting. So, and insurance policies. Omar, our insurance, is it really easy to buy insurance in Mexico?
Yeah, it's very easy. Well, uh, in general, all the companies here in Mexico, they are a kind of database
Hmm.
where people that not pay some
Hmm.
contract, for example,
Yeah.
are recorded in this database. And if you want, for example, an injury policy, and if you are in that database, you could have some problems to have that insurance policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very similar in the States. I signed up for went to an insurance company and signed up for an insurance policy, and I saw them actually type in my social security number, and they brought up the cars that were at the house I live in, and they were like, okay, so what car do you want to cover? I'm like, huh. And then they brought up my driving record and what happened at my at the last insurance policy company and things like that, and I'm like, really? I was very surprised, very
Sorry,
Yeah,
very
they
this
brought
surprised.
up, they brought up your driving. What did you say?
Well, the say for example, it would have been Christmas of 2012. My sister drove my car into my garage and hit the wall, and then a couple weeks later, I noticed that there was a crack in my office, crack in the wall. And
Oh,
so instead of instead of the home insurance, it was a claim against the car insurance because the car was what did the damage. So that was there, and even though it was not my fault, it was still there.
okay,
So
okay, got it.
yeah. So any claim that I've made and so forth. Is it easy, Fernanda, in Colombia? Is it easy to buy insurance?
Uh, the what?
Is it easy to buy insurance?
Okay.
To get an insurance policy.
Yes. You can get it for all. For example, for everything. For example, if you want um no, I don't know. For example, I don't know. The cell phone company
Uh-huh.
uh, offers a service of insurance policy
Uh-huh.
um, for getting money, no more. And for example, if you have an accident, that company could pay some money for that, and and without the company have to take off of you, to take care of you,
Uh-huh.
um, that company pays for that.
Okay, the company pays for that. Okay, thank you very much. And question for you, Julio. In my country, as far as car insurance, young men between the ages of 18 and 25 who are not married pay the highest insurance premium. Is it the same in Mexico?
Uh, Not really. Here in Mexico, they don't care about the age.
Okay.
They're pretty much the fee that you have to pay. It's according to the type of car you're driving. If
Okay.
it's a very expensive car, obviously the insurance fee
It's
is gonna
higher.
be higher.
Hmm.
But if it's an old car, it's pretty cheap.
Okay.
Something that's interesting about Mexico, I don't know if it's the same there in the States, is that we have what we call like micro insurance contracts, which is that pretty much you walk into a convenience store and you have these small cards that look like payphone cards,
Hmm.
and you buy the card for this card for I don't know, $10,
Uh-huh.
and that card you only have to call to 1-800 number and just provide basic information like your name and date of birth, and then you're covered. They don't ask for any additional information, and then you're covered
Wow.
for a period of time, probably 6 months or a year, but they only cover a small amount of money.
Uh-huh.
Some of these cards are for a car insurance, others are for
Medical.
health medical problems. You
Uh-huh.
know, they say
Uh-huh.
like we cover for the amount of I don't know, $2,500 in the
Mm-hmm.
period of a year, only in, but they have like small letters like if you have this disease or that, it's not
Wow.
covered by this
Uh-huh.
insurance.
Yeah, but for somebody who's fairly healthy, that might be a great way to do that. I wish we would do that in the States. Really wish we would do that in the States. That sounds great.
Yeah, they are pretty convenient, and at the end, I think it's a great business for them because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people use these cards, and
Uh-huh.
most of them, well, they just pay for it. They are never gonna be
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess it's
Well,
like quantity versus quality. They see we're gonna sell 10,000 of these cards, and it's gonna be okay. Probably we're going to just have to pay for 1/10 of this
yeah.
amount.
Wow. No, in the States you have Obamacare, where we all have to buy insurance. And for example, when I quit my job, I had 60 days to buy insurance, and I planned it so that I would pay for the insurance on such and such a date. So I bought this insurance after 60 days, and it was going to be $300 a month. And I had told myself I would pay it in 20 days, and well, they only gave me 10 days to pay it, so they canceled it before I could pay it.
Okay.
Which is like, first of all, it's 300 a month, which is really, really too high. But
Yeah.
it's also, it was like I couldn't believe it. So I have no insurance. So, but I'll get it in January. So anyway, let's go on. Let's complete the phrases below with the following verbs. We have sign, breach, complete, draw up, extend, renew, and terminate. Okay, so sign a contract is to put your signature on a contract to show that you agreed to it. Omar, could you do number 2?
Uh, draw up to
Yes.
prepare write the contract.
Yes, that is correct. To draw up a contract. Okay, Julio, number 3.
To break one or more of the terms of the contract. I think it's to breach.
Yes, to breach a contract. Perfect. Okay, and Fernanda, number 4.
Complete. Complete a contract to end a contract before the official end date.
Okay, this one is to terminate. Terminate a contract. To end a contract before the official end date. Before it is completely over. Now, number 5, though, Omar, could you do that one?
Complete a contract
Mm-hmm.
to fill all terms of the contract.
So terminate is when you stop it before it's over. Where completed is when you stop it when it is supposed to stop. Okay. Number 6, Julio.
Okay. To extend is to make a contract continue for a longer time.
Yes. Okay. And then number 7, Fernanda.
Renew a contract to sign a new contract when the previous contract has finished.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now let's complete the sentences below. Number 1, Omar, could you do that one?
Okay. Our lease expires at the end of the year, but we were able to renew the contract by another year.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Julio, number 2.
Sure, we cannot sell the goods to a third party. If we do this, we will breach the contract.
Perfect.
I have a question. Is
Mhm.
is not common in legal documents to use the word can't as a contraction?
Um, yeah, because contractions in legal documents, a contraction is considered informal language. So in legalese, you would use very formal language, which we'll be talking about that in the next section. But yeah, it's very, very formal. So no, you cannot, you should not be doing that. So, hi Nader, how are you? So, okay, number 3, Fernanda, could you read that one?
Okay. We were be happy with the service, so after our contract ended, we decided to 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 terminate it
We were very happy. So after our contract ended, we decided to.
because is before of the official end date.
Yeah. Okay. We decided to. We could say extend it. Extend would be the right one, but also renew would be right. Also, renew is right here as well. So we're very happy with the service after our contract ended. So we decided to extend it or renew it.
Yeah, I think the first one is
Has to be extend or renew.
extended.
Extend, yeah.
Because
But
you
we were able to
extended the
extend the
amount of time.
contract, yeah. And then I think the number 3 is renew, but both of them will actually work. So, okay, number 4, Omar, could you do that one?
The construction firm couldn't complete
Mm-hmm.
the contract because of the bad weather.
Okay, excellent. Okay, number 5, Nader. Nader, are you there? Can you speak? Nader? Okay, terminate. Okay, he obviously can. He obviously cannot speak, but he did write the answer. So we can terminate the contract if we notify the other party 1 month in advance. Thank you, Nader. Okay, Julio, number 6.
In order to make everything legal, the lawyers decided to um throw up a contract.
Yes, draw up a contract, exactly. Okay, excellent. All right, now in English, there are a number of very formal, old-fashioned words which are only used in legal contracts and formal documents. Look at the sentences and phrases below. What do you think the underlined words mean? In pairs, so as a group, let's match to their meaning. The company named above, hereinafter referred to as the contractor. We have the schedule hereto attached, payment of the obligations herein. We do not warrant that the website will meet all your needs. By signing this contract, you hereby accept the terms and conditions. So let's guess. Omar, what do you think number 1 would be? Hereinafter.
Oh,
What do you think hereinafter would be? Oh, let's instead of calling on just one person at a time, let's call on everybody because this one is actually quite difficult. So anybody have an idea what this one would be?
Later in this document.
Yes. And Nader also put it down too. Okay. Here too. Anybody have an idea what this one would be?
In this document? Or to this document?
To this document.
Yeah,
To this
attached.
document. To this document is to. And herein.
in this document.
In this document, yes. And then we do not warrant. What would
Guarantee.
warrant be?
Warranty.
Guarantee. Guarantee, exactly. And then you, by signing this contract, you hereby or as a result accept the terms and conditions. 5. Okay. Now these words are never used in spoken language. So, like Julio was asking, we also do not use. Normally, may have gotten relaxed as our societies have gotten relaxed. But normally, you do not use contracts. I mean, excuse me.
Informal language.
Informal language, like you would not use can't, for example. You would use cannot in formal language. You know, in your countries, and well, all three in your countries, it's all Spanish. Well, I guess not. Nader, you're Arabic, but in your countries, do you guys have specialized legal language as well?
Yes, of course. Legal jargon. It's
Jargon. Mm-hmm.
jargon. That's very complicated. It's very complicated to understand sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's why we got lawyers just for
Yeah,
that. I think
exactly.
they made it on purpose.
I think they did too. And the Nader has written the same thing. He said, yes, we have. So that's the same. Okay, and so Fernanda, how important are contracts in your work?
Really, it's so important because if you breach, yes,
Breach.
if you breach that contract, you can be expulsed of the company, and at the same time you can be I don't know
You can be sued.
Like named in the justice.
Okay, you can be implicated.
Yeah, you can be implicated. Depends on the breach.
Okay, it depends on the situation. Okay, all right. It looks like we're running out of time, so I do want to thank you all for your time and attention. I hope you learned some new words and phrases and got a chance to practice speaking. And the next class we'll be doing something, it's called Words of Similar Meaning, and that's actually some vocabulary words that we'll be matching all 4 together that all mean the same. Maybe you will have heard of 1 or 2, so if you want to practice vocabulary, that would be a good one to go to. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day. See you in another class. Thank you.
Bye, Holly.